Hello guys, it's been a while since I uploaded anything on my channel, so I just want to give a little bit. I know this is gonna take a little bit to do, but I wanted to talk to you guys about my perspective, my perception, in retrospect of 2018, what transpired in 2018 through my eyes, and how I actually went through with every single moment. Not exactly, you can't do that. But I can give you images and pictures and talk about it, right? So sit back, relax, hold that beer, and check it out. Hello, boys and girls, ladies and gentlemen. Thanks for joining my little video here. The aspect of me going to do this, now I even know I have to go to work in like an hour. I gotta do this because I was trying to do this all day and so much technical difficulty to just drag to do this all together. But let's get to it. What transpired for me in 2018? Well, hey folks. So everyone is talking about what they have experienced in 2018, right? Well, it's my turn to tackle this as well. I really don't want to look back at the bad stuff that has happened, but the good stuff won't have that shine if I don't. So let's get deep into the bad stuff first. Alright, the first thing that happened that continued from November 2017 to January of this year is the Bitcoin craze. All of the world was watching in as cryptocurrency stormed into the town with new innovative concepts that can help humanity advance into a new, more personal world for everyone in the globe. This is actually nothing new, as it was something that has been happening now for the last 10 years. But sadly, it was, as expected, a short-lived thrill ride that fascinated many in getting into it. The biggest of the promises is basically getting rich with the explosive trends. Bitcoin felt like an element that would have changed everything the way we lived by introducing blockchain in many places in our industrial world. That is still pending, but sadly I won't see anyone adopting Bitcoin in a very long while. The scene has drastically changed and evolved to the point of making Bitcoin obsolete for whoever wants to jump in now. The common man won't ever need to use it as cash anymore. It's a novel idea now, and only the crowd was interested in leaving the control of the fiat currency. But instead, cry like a baby for governments to instill their corrupted hands onto it and deliver it back to the world power of the International Monetary Fund. Thus, rules in place block concepts like crypto from ever gaining any dominance, although not absolutely. There is still potential that the world will adopt a better world currency that Bitcoin promised. The IRS has put penalties to anyone who tries to incur crypto without reporting it. That by itself stops anyone below the middle class from ever adopting it. Even though 10 years have passed since Bitcoin got introduced, I feel we need at least 30 years more for the world to comprehend it and make the crypto market mature enough for everyone to be in it. The status quo never changed after the tsunami of Bitcoin in the year 2017, but it gave rise to shady pyramid dealings with folks who thought they were protected by the element of anonymity by getting into crypto. The IRS isn't stupid. They prepare themselves for anything that remotely seems like counterfeiting or schemes that try to undermine them and the very system we all are in. This is why everyone flocks so hard on Bitcoin, because it is the new Wild West. No rules, new frontier with promise of great wealth and riches one would only dream about. This was true to only that 1% who won the lottery, but not for me or my family. We got tricked into the whole craze late in the game. I wanted to learn more about it, but not like the way I carried it out. I feel so heartbroken about it and lost when all the money just simply disappeared in the roller coaster ride that was Bitcoin. I was just too clumsy and dumb to understand this new thing, and many have gotten burned by this too. I went and invested in websites that promised returns that vanished within 3 weeks of their arrival.
I got $100 check from my grandma, and my dad said I need to put it in the bank so it can grow over the years.
Well, that's fantastic. A really smart decision, young man. We can put that check in a money market mutual fund. Then we'll reinvest the earnings into foreign currency accounts with compounding interest, and it's gone.
Thousands gone. I thought there were people who believed in changing the world, but instead acted in the shadows to deceive and trap those who acted to find riches as fast as abnormally possible. Seeing examples of many who have won, it felt like a mosh pit of zombies wanting to get rich quick. My father bombarded my fear and stress, and he was bombarded at the same time by the same fear and stress. My father was getting convinced by a crook who just wanted to absorb as much money for himself as humanly possible, preying on my stroke-ill parent who only wanted for his family to be at peace. Bitcoin was in the center of this hallucination. This is the true experience, and why Bitcoin globally will not be taken seriously for a very long time with the average Joe. This is why the market dived once all the schemes were revealed by the governments as games to hurt the innocent. This is why the giant tech companies had to block crypto ads to parent the innocent who just wanted to break away from their hell. This all happened within 7 months in 2017 and concluded in April of 2018 through my experience. Just in how crypto fell in value, I decided to go back into game development and put the last of what I had money value wise into it. I just wanted to get a prototype working so I can tell everyone about my game and be able to find others to help me push forward this 7-year-old project that originally was a story I started 20 years ago. I worked on this so much and so hard, so I seeked for someone to help me advance to the next level in making it a reality. I projected to have an alpha build by June of 2018, but that didn't happen. Instead, I missed the deadline I had to submit to Boston Festival of Indie Games, and I slided into a deep depression that caused a suicidal episode. My parents telling me they are gonna sell the house didn't help at all with me feeling any better. I had cut my wrist, knowing that I can't go on anymore. The debt overhead, the house, letting my parents down on the Bitcoin bullshit, letting my family down in general just had me spiritually defeated. My dreams crumbled, my heart crushed in a million pieces. Then after I felt really dark and hopeless, I really just wanted to end my life. In July 2018, my wisdom tooth broke. I was malnourished, my body was showing signs of breaking down. I was suffering pains as well. The heartbreak was too much, but then my parents helped me at this time. I had to choose to wake up from this downturn. I tried to recover myself from it by taking vitamins that help with my mood. but it wasn't enough. I was still feeling dead inside. My parents then suggested for me to leave with them to Florida for a good 3 weeks. And just when I was getting ready to leave, my desktop computer just goes bad on me. I couldn't finish my 3D model I was working on, so I left it alone and just go to Florida and focus on family. That helped a little. I got to see my niece for the first time. I went to Disney World. That was such a good highlight, but more on that later. It helped. The bad feelings were subsiding. Then I texted my brother and I told him to help me. He agreed to find me a spot at his job. Thus another miracle right there. But more on that later too. Okay. I guess one more bad moment before I go into the good. The final nail of hurt was September 29, 2018, where I missed Boston Festival of Indie Games because the guy who promised me to work on my game had vanished. Then I get a text from him saying he can't continue any longer because of the technical conditions set, and also he was suffering. He hadn't had any other job making games for others, and at that time he didn't have any income. The pressure in paying rent was there, and the agreement had to be broken. It wasn't fulfilled. He wasn't able to do the battle mode I paid him for to do because of the technicalities that discouraged him from doing so. That's why I told him to do what he can. He succeeded in making the character move and climb ladders, but no battle mode because again, the package library that was being used or was a pain to understand it. That killed me. That hurt a lot. I was looking forward and seeing what he could have done. Then I got scammed again on Instagram. At this point, in late October, consider me not feeling anything anymore about life. Reality hit so hard that I just became numb, falling deeper into despair. My health diminishing as I put energy into my new job and nothing to look forward for the future but bills and more debt. Depression had set in again really hard, and I tried to work it out by just focusing on my job, but I just got lost more and more into my negative thoughts. Instead, work helped to put a hold on those thoughts until I returned home. That's where the trick is. It has been really tough to do anything creative since then. Even to stream live was just so hard for me. But I did try to stay consistent. Now, enter the positive parts of the year. My wisdom tooth breaking smacked me with some sense. I find that more of a positive than a negative. I realized I had to wake up from this feeling, and I pushed hard. I got angry against this negative bind my mind had over me. Then the trip to Florida helped a lot. Meeting my niece for the first time was a wonderful experience, not adding that my sister took me to Volcano Bay at Universal Studio Park. We even went to downtown Disney. It was a great time that blinked me back into sense. Then to my surprise, my brother had actually got me a spot at his job right after I arrived back home from spending the time with my parents and sister. This happened right in August 2018. I got to see my brother to get married. That's a real plus. I made new friends. I'm still without working phone service though, but I'm feeling great. My parents got to fly over and experience my brother's wedding as well. So pretty much the immediate family was there except my sister. They stayed home until late October. Then they left back to Florida. It was a great time, putting my focus on grinding and paying back what was owed, what I owed. I also started saving up for the Nintendo Switch in late September 2018, which was a plus. because previously I didn't have any income and I just felt like shit because I wanted I wanted that too. And the anticipation to Smash Brothers. My job has been very welcoming with great people to work with. The pay is meh, but it doesn't hurt at all to know that the ensemble of workers are super kind and wonderful. It makes me care more about the place. Then I was invited to go to a meeting of entrepreneurs called the Moonlighters. That was good, and I felt I made progress in being brave and going alone. Usually I don't. I usually tag with somebody, but this time I just went alone, you know, and brave it. Later in November, my sister gave both me and my brother a huge surprise that basically turned things really for the whoa factor. And it set the precedence for the next few years. Definitely. It's big. And that's just my elder sister, that not elder sister, but the oldest sister. I'm still the oldest. Then my younger sister gave birth to my nephew, which was another plus. It's amazing. As for my health, to find a balance, I intensely switched into vegan pescatarian diet. Has resulted in more stamina and agility than what I had eating meat. Alas, it has been hard to cut away 100% in eating dairy foods, but I keep it at a minimal. It's just really hard. I noticed that when I do eat meat, I get sick for 2 days, but when I do grains and soy products, I tend to get back that lost energy. Even when I do starches like rice, and then I do, just regular rice and beans, this works wonders. Even giving up eating bread helped in alleviate my asthma, as I've noticed. Surprisingly for me, this also helps to control that depressive mental state a little bit. It doesn't get rid of it, though. Reality's still there. It's always smacking me around. And accepting it every day is just a battle in its own. Rocking hard 5 week streak of working. I had an all-time high in earnings in November at $1,900, which I haven't really earned as that much in the entire year after the falling out of Bitcoin. I wasn't even counting, but the bank reported an amount and I was shocked. Since it's the maximum, most busiest time at my job, which is Thanksgiving season, fall, they gave me the extra hours to be able to cover and help them out. This gave way to me being able to get a Nintendo Switch, the Smash Brothers edition, at the day of release in November. I immediately had buyer's remorse, though, because of all this other stuff that are prioritized first before getting something like that. So I placed the item in the attic until it was time to break it out in December. After all of that, entering December, I was able to pay my electric bill in full confidence. I've been saving up my power use at home, working extra hours, help to cut down on electricity use as well. So that's a plus. I'm in total efficiency mode. It helped my brother focus more on the bigger picture as well, which is paying the other stuff that are equally as important. So in combination, I was able to actually cover things that I need to cover and save electricity. So it saves money at the same time. When the monthly bill for December was $135 of electric use, which I have decreased by, I don't know how many percent you can do with that math, but I saved $200 for the month. Because at average, I do $300 a month. And I reduced it by $200, which is freaking fantastic. Well, 200 and something, right? Yeah, but still fantastic. So, there is an immense, progressively positive movement here. On another note, I'm single, so I don't have anyone telling me to do stuff. So doing all that is a positive on my own. That's where I have to really be hard on myself. This is why I have to be really hard on myself. Because there is no one that would give me that hard love than me, and myself. It's hard. I'm getting forgetful on things, so I'm losing stuff too, and I'm alone. You may take it as a negative, but it's also a positive in that sense. So it's in between, it's like a neutral stance. I'm happy in being alone, which lends more to the positive side, but at the same time, having someone extra reminding me or watching my back would be super great. I just am not that lucky right now to have anyone like that with me. But if you do have that somebody, treasure them. With that said, thank you for having the time to take all of that in. Please hit a like on my video. Subscribe if you wish to know more of what's going on with game development, my head in Heraldo Legend YouTube channel. And I'll return in 2019 with new stuff. But until then, it's time to work. And I hope you guys have a wonderful new year. Happy New Year. Let's do this. Let's make 2019 a good one. Talk to you guys later.